Ladies and gentlemen, when you feel broken, when the weight of the world seems unbearable, when life throws everything at you and you feel like you can't get up anymore, I want you to remember one thing: it's not over. It may feel like the end, but I promise you it's only the beginning. You see, life doesn't promise you that everything will be smooth. It doesn't guarantee that things will always go according to plan or that you'll never face a setback. In fact, the opposite is true. Life is going to test you. It's going to challenge your limits. It's going to hit you when you're down, and it's going to make you question everything. But here's the thing you need to understand: the tests you face, the failures you experience, the pain you endure, they're not there to break you. They're there to shape you, to teach you, and to teach you, and to prepare you for something greater. The greatest lessons in life are often born out of adversity. The most resilient people in the world are those who've been through the fire, the ones who have walked through hell and come out stronger on the other side. When you feel broken, when you feel like you can't take another step, you're being prepared for something greater than you can imagine. I know it's hard to see that when you're in the middle of your struggle. When you're down and everything seems impossible, it's easy to get lost in your pain, to think that there's no way out. But I want you to look at that pain differently. Pain isn't just something to be endured, it's something to be used, it's fuel. It's a reminder that you're still alive, that you're still in the fight, that you haven't given up yet. And as long as you're still standing, there's always hope. You may not see the way forward right now, but that doesn't mean it's not there. One of the hardest things you'll ever do is push through when you don't feel like it, when you don't want to, when the world feels like it's collapsing around you. But that's when the real growth happens. Every time you get knocked down and decide to stand back up, you're growing. You're strengthening your character, your resolve, your determination. Every time you push past the pain, you're telling the world, and more importantly yourself, that you are not defeated. You have to keep moving forward. Even when it seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, you have to trust that it's there. Because every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to that light. Every struggle you face is a building block for the person you're becoming. The road is never easy and the climb is never smooth, but that's the journey, that's life. And in that struggle, in that fight, you find who you really are. You find your strength. You find your resilience. You discover that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Think about it. The best athletes, the greatest performers, the most successful people in any field, they didn't get there by giving up when things got tough. They didn't get there by quitting when they felt broken. They got there because they kept going. They got there because they refused to let their circumstances define them. They got there because they chose to push through no matter what. And you have that same power in you. You have the same strength. When you feel broken, it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to look around and see all the things that are wrong, all the things that aren't working out, and lose sight of what's possible. But I want you to remember something. There's a power inside of you that is stronger than any setback, stronger than any failure, stronger than any difficulty you're facing right now. That power is the power to choose how you respond. And every time you choose to get up, every time you choose to keep going, you are rewriting your story. You're not defined by what's happened to you. You are defined by how you rise in the face of adversity. So let's be real. When you're broken, when you feel like everything is falling apart, it's easy to believe that it's the end. It's easy to lose hope. But let me tell you, it's not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. It's the beginning of a new opportunity. It's the beginning of you finding your true potential. You're going to look back on this moment someday and realize that it was the turning point. It was the moment that you decided to keep fighting. It was the moment that you decided that no matter how hard it got, you were going to keep pushing forward. And when you look back, you'll see that it wasn't the pain that defeated you, it was the power you found within yourself that carried you through. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to grieve, to be frustrated, to feel like the weight of the world is too much to carry. But don't stay there. Don't let the pain become your identity. Don't let it define you. You are not broken. You are in the process of becoming. You are in the process of growing into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who can handle whatever life throws at you. It's easy to look at someone who's achieved great things and think that they never struggled, that they never faced failure, that they never had to fight through tough times, but that's not true. Every successful person, every great achiever, every person who has overcome adversity, they've all been broken at some point. They've all had moments when they didn't think they could go on. They've all faced setbacks, failures, and challenges that seemed insurmountable. The difference is they didn't quit. They didn't let their brokenness stop them. They used it. They turned their pain into purpose. And you can do the same. You have a choice in how you respond to the struggles you face. You can let them break you, or you can let them make you. And I'm telling you right now, the people who make it are the ones who keep going when it's hard. The ones who keep believing, even when there's no evidence that things will get better. The ones who keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when they don't feel like it. That's how you turn brokenness into strength. That's how you turn failure into success. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to have it all figured out. But what you do need to do is keep moving forward. Every small step you take is a victory. Every day you wake up and choose to keep fighting is a win. And those wins will add up. They'll accumulate. And one day you'll look back and realize that those little steps turned into giant leaps. You'll look back and see that the brokenness you felt was the very thing that led you to greatness. The road ahead may be difficult. It may be long. You may stumble along the way. You may fall down 100 times. But remember, this falling is not failing. Failing is not staying down. Failing is not getting back up. If you fall, get up. If you stumble, keep walking. If you feel like quitting, don't. And no matter how broken you feel, never forget that the power to overcome is within you. It's always been within you. So when you feel broken, don't give up. Don't let the weight of the world keep you down. Stand up. Keep moving forward. Because you are not defeated. You are in the process of becoming something greater. And the best is yet to come. Life's challenges, pain, and setbacks are not meant to destroy you, but to mold and strengthen you. The struggles you face are opportunities for growth, helping you become a stronger, more resilient person. No matter how difficult things get, the key to overcoming is continuing to move forward. Every small step forward, every decision to keep going despite pain, is a victory that brings you closer to strength and success. You have the power to choose how you respond to adversity. You can either let hardship define you or use it to fuel your personal growth and future success. The choice is always yours, and your response shapes your future. Feeling broken is not the end. It's part of the process of becoming. Every time you rise after falling, you gain new strength. The moments of struggle are the ones that will define your true potential and lead you to greater achievements. Life is never as simple as we hope it will be. It's not a straight line, and it's certainly not without its sharp curves, steep hills, and unexpected detours. We all face moments in life that knock us down, moments when we feel like we can't breathe, when the world feels heavy and unforgiving. You've been there maybe even right now. We've all been there, but here's what you need to understand. Adversity is not something that's meant to break you. It's meant to shape you. Too often, when we face difficulty, when we feel pain, we think of it as a sign that we're failing, a sign that we're not strong enough to handle it. We look at our struggles and feel defeated, thinking that this is the moment where we'll crumble, where we'll lose everything. But the reality is that adversity is an essential part of who we are. It's what builds us. It's what gives us the strength we need to push through to become the people we were always meant to be. When you're facing something difficult, something that seems insurmountable, it's easy to focus on the obstacle in front of you. It's easy to get lost in the moment and think that it's the end, that it's the thing that's going to define your life. But the truth is, it's not about the obstacle, it's about what you do with it. The greatest warriors are not the ones who never fall, but the ones who get up every single time. And this isn't just a metaphor. It's a fact of life. Adversity has a way of revealing who we really are. It strips away all the illusions, the comfort zones, the things we thought we needed to succeed. It challenges our beliefs, our ideas about who we are, what we're capable of, and what the world owes us. But it also shows us something else. It shows us what we're made of. It shows us how strong we truly are, how resilient we can be, and how much potential lies within us. When you face hardship, when you feel like everything is falling apart, it's easy to start questioning your worth, to feel like you're not enough, or that you'll never make it through. You might even begin to think that the world is against you, that life is conspiring to keep you down. But let me tell you something important. Adversity isn't a punishment, it's a test. It's a test of your character, a test of your willpower, and a test of your determination. And in every test, there's an opportunity to grow. Think about the most successful people you know, whether they're athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, or anyone who has achieved greatness in their field. The people who are truly great aren't the ones who have been handed everything on a silver platter. They're the ones who have fought, who have been knocked down and stood back up. They faced rejection, failure, pain, and adversity, but they didn't let that define them. They didn't let those challenges break them. They used those challenges to become better. Every obstacle was an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to emerge stronger. Take a moment to think about the times in your life when you've struggled. You probably remember the feelings of helplessness, the moments of doubt when you wondered if you'd ever see the light at the end of the tunnel. But if you look back now, you'll see something different. You'll see how those moments of difficulty made you stronger. You'll see how those challenges forced you to dig deeper, to tap into reserves of strength you didn't even know you had. You'll see how that adversity shaped you into the person you are today. The people who truly thrive in life aren't the ones who never faced adversity. They're the ones who faced it head on and didn't back down. They took the hits, they got back up, and they kept moving forward. And in doing so, they learned to adapt, to grow, and to improve. Every setback was a lesson, every failure was a stepping stone, and every moment of struggle was a piece of the puzzle that led to success. Adversity shapes us because it forces us to grow beyond our comfort zones. It forces us to develop new skills, to become more resourceful, and to find creative solutions to problems we didn't even know we'd face. Think about it. If everything in life were easy, if everything went according to plan, would you ever really grow? Would you ever truly test the limits of what you can achieve? Probably not. We only learn the most important lessons when we face the challenges we didn't expect, when we're pushed to the edge, when we're forced to confront the parts of ourselves that we don't want to face. One of the most powerful things about adversity is that it shows you who you are when you're at your lowest. It reveals your true character. You may not see it in the moment, but when you look back, you'll see that it was in those hard times that you learned what you were capable of. Adversity forces us to rise above our circumstances, to find strength in places we never thought possible. It challenges us to become more than we thought we could be, and it does so in ways that no easy path ever could. The thing about adversity is that it's not just a test of how strong you are, it's a test of your belief in yourself. When everything seems to be falling apart, when the world is telling you to give up, it's your belief in your own ability to persevere that will carry you through. People who are shaped by adversity don't just survive, they thrive. And they do it because they refuse to believe that their circumstances define them. They refuse to believe that the difficulties they face are permanent. They know that their strength comes from within, and they use that knowledge to push forward. But let's be clear, this isn't easy. There will be moments when it feels like you're taking 2 steps backward for every 1 step forward. There will be moments when the weight of everything you're going through feels like too much to bear. But it's in those moments that you need to dig deep and find that inner strength, the strength that's been building in you all along. It's there. You just have to trust in it, even when everything else is telling you to give up. When life gets tough, when the road ahead seems impossible, it's easy to want to throw in the towel, to walk away, to say that it's not worth it. But the truth is, you'll never know what you're truly capable of until you face that adversity head on. You'll never know how strong you are until you find yourself in a situation that demands you be stronger than you ever thought you could be. It's only by pushing through, by continuing to show up even when the going gets tough, that you'll discover the power you hold inside. Adversity is a forge, and you are the steel. It's hot. It's intense. It bends you, molds you, and shapes you. But if you allow yourself to be forged by the fire of your struggles, you'll come out of it stronger, sharper, and more resilient than ever before. The pain you experience today is not forever. The struggle you face in this moment is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter. And it's a chapter that will shape the person you're becoming. The greatest strength you can find in life comes from surviving and thriving through adversity. The more you face, the more you grow. The more you push through, the more you become the person you were always meant to be. When you look back, you won't remember the pain you felt, the failures you endured, or the struggles you faced. What you'll remember is how you rose above them, how you used them to fuel your determination, and how you became a stronger version of yourself because of them. And that's the true gift of adversity. It's not about breaking you. It's about shaping you, teaching you, and showing you just how capable you are of overcoming whatever comes your way. So the next time you feel like you're broken, remember this: you are not broken. You are being made stronger. You are being forged in the fire of your own resilience, and you will emerge from this struggle better than you ever were before. Perseverance is one of the most powerful forces in life, and yet it's often the most underrated. We live in a world where instant gratification is the norm. We want results now. We want success to be easy. We want the payoff without the struggle. But the reality is that true success, the kind that lasts and truly transforms us, doesn't come from quick fixes or shortcuts. It comes from perseverance. It comes from the ability to keep going, even when things get tough, when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when everything inside you is screaming for you to quit. Perseverance is about staying the course. It's about pushing forward, even when the road ahead is unclear. It's about showing up every single day, doing the work, even when you can't see the immediate results of your effort. It's the ability to maintain faith in yourself and your goals, and in the process, even when the external world doesn't seem to be reflecting your effort. Perseverance is what separates those who make it from those who give up. But here's the thing, it's not always going to be easy. There are going to be times when you feel like giving up, when you feel like you've given it all you've got and it's still not enough. It's in those moments when you're exhausted, when you face setback after setback, when you've been knocked down and bruised, that your perseverance will be tested. And it's in those moments that perseverance becomes the most important tool you can have. There's an old saying that goes, the darkest hour is just before the dawn. That's because the most difficult, the most challenging moments in your journey are often the ones that come right before breakthrough. So many people give up right when they're on the edge of something great. They quit just before the tide turns in their favor. They let one bad day, one failure, one setback convince them that their dream isn't worth pursuing. But those who persevere know better. They understand that the struggle is part of the process. They know that the road is long, and sometimes the path is obscured by challenges, but they continue moving forward, step by step. Perseverance isn't just about pushing through when you're feeling strong. It's about pushing through when you're feeling weak, when you feel like everything is falling apart, and you don't know how much longer you can keep going. It's the quiet strength to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it, even when there's no applause, no recognition, and no visible progress. It's about trusting the process and knowing that as long as you keep going, the results will come. You may not see them right away, but they are on the way. Think about the greatest successes in history. Think about the people who have achieved incredible things, who have overcome the odds, who have turned their dreams into reality. Every single one of them faced adversity. Every single one of them had moments of doubt, moments where they questioned whether it was worth it. But the one thing they all had in common was perseverance. They didn't give up. They kept going when the world told them to stop. They kept going when the road was steep and the destination felt too far. And that's why they succeeded. There's an important lesson in this. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to know exactly how everything will unfold. What you need is the willingness to keep going, even when the answers aren't clear. What you need is the courage to move forward in faith, to trust that if you keep putting in the work, if you stay committed to the process, the results will eventually follow. Perseverance is about building the habit of resilience. It's about conditioning yourself to keep going no matter what. It's not about ignoring the difficulties or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them, facing them head on, and still choosing to move forward. It's about developing the mental toughness to handle setbacks, the emotional strength to deal with disappointment, and the stamina to keep working towards your goal day after day, year after year, until you finally reach the place you've been striving for. The truth is, you'll never know what you're truly capable of until you've been tested. You'll never know how strong you are until you face challenges that pushed you to your limits. The people who succeed are not the ones who have never been tested, who have never struggled. They are the ones who have been knocked down, who have faced failure and rejection, and who have continued to rise. They are the ones who have learned how to persevere. And perseverance isn't just about getting through the tough times. It's also about building the strength to handle success. Think about it, success can be just as challenging as failure. It comes with its own set of pressures, expectations, and responsibilities. Those who succeed and stay successful are the ones who have the perseverance to keep going once they've achieved their goals. They don't rest on their laurels. They keep pushing forward, striving for more, always looking for ways to grow, improve, and evolve. When you persevere, you also learn to embrace discomfort. You stop expecting everything to be easy. You understand that success doesn't come from doing what's comfortable, but from doing what's necessary, from stepping outside your comfort zone, from challenging yourself to do things you've never done before. It's about stretching yourself beyond your limits and accepting that the path to greatness is not going to be easy. But when you have the determination to stay the course, you'll discover that you're capable of far more than you thought. The power of perseverance also lies in its ability to build confidence. Every time you push through a difficult situation, every time you rise after a fall, you prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. Each small victory, no matter how insignificant it may seem at the time, adds up to something much larger. The more you persevere, the more you prove to yourself that you can achieve your goals, no matter how impossible they may seem. And that confidence, that belief in yourself, becomes an unshakable foundation upon which you can build your success. When you're facing challenges, when it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on you, it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to think that the struggle will never end. But what you have to remember is that this moment, this struggle, is temporary. It's not permanent. If you can keep pushing through, if you can keep putting in the work, the breakthrough is coming. You may not see it right now, but trust that it's on the other side of perseverance. The storm will pass, and when it does, you will be stronger, more capable, and more prepared for the next phase of your journey. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do in life is simply to keep going. When everything seems stacked against you, when the odds are insurmountable, when you feel like you can't take another step, just take one more step. And then another. And then another. Keep showing up. Keep putting in the effort. Keep doing the work, even when you don't feel like it, even when it feels pointless. Because the truth is, every step you take, every ounce of effort you put in, is bringing you closer to your goal. It's easy to lose sight of that. It's easy to think that the effort doesn't matter, that the struggle isn't worth it. But perseverance is about showing up when nobody's watching, about doing the work even when there's no immediate reward, about believing in the long-term payoff even when the results aren't visible right away. The road to success is long, and the journey can be grueling, but perseverance is the glue that holds it all together. You'll encounter setbacks, failures, and obstacles. You'll face rejection and criticism. There will be times when you feel like you've hit a wall, times when you question your choices, and times when it seems like everything is falling apart. But that's when you need perseverance the most. That's when your true strength is tested. And when you push through, when you refuse to quit, when you keep going despite the pain, that's when you become unstoppable. Success isn't just about talent, luck, or even intelligence. It's about the determination to keep going, the resilience to keep standing, and the courage to keep fighting even when everything in you wants to quit. The power of perseverance lies in its ability to transform you. It turns obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into stepping stones, and failures into lessons. It teaches you that nothing worthwhile comes easy, but everything you endure on the way is worth it. So when you're faced with challenges, when the going gets tough, remember perseverance is the key. Keep going. Keep showing up. Keep pushing forward, because in the end, those who persevere are the ones who succeed. And you are capable of more than you think. Every moment in life presents a choice. The way you respond to circumstances, to the people around you, and to the obstacles you face will ultimately determine the life you live. It's easy to forget this when things are difficult, when you feel overwhelmed by the challenges, the setbacks, and the frustrations that seem to come out of nowhere. In those moments, it's natural to want to give in, to react with anger, frustration, or even despair. But the truth is, your response, not your situation, is the thing that will define your path forward. Think about the times when you faced adversity, times when life didn't go the way you planned, when you were knocked down, or when things seemed to fall apart. It's in those moments, the ones when you feel the most vulnerable or defeated, that the power of your response is revealed. Your situation doesn't determine your future. Your response does. How you react to what life throws at you, how you choose to face the storms, is what shapes who you become. We all know people who seem to glide through life effortlessly, always calm and composed, no matter what happens. They don't seem to be rattled by adversity or hardship. It's easy to assume that they're just lucky, that they somehow got dealt a better hand. But the reality is, it's not about luck. It's about their ability to respond to life's challenges in a way that empowers them rather than overwhelms them. They've learned either through experience or wisdom that their response is everything. When life doesn't go as planned, it's easy to slip into a victim mentality, to start blaming the world for everything that's wrong, or to point fingers at others for your pain. But that mindset will never lead to growth. It will never lead to the kind of success or peace you're striving for. The people who are truly able to achieve success in life are the ones who have learned to take responsibility for their responses, to choose how they react to every situation, no matter how difficult. Now, I'm not saying you need to be superhuman. It's normal to feel frustration, sadness, or anger when things go wrong. These are natural human emotions, but the key is in what you do with them. It's in how you process those emotions, how you channel them into constructive action, and how you rise above the urge to react impulsively. If you let every frustration, every disappointment, and every failure control your response, you will never move forward. The moment you let your circumstances dictate your reactions is the moment you lose control over your life. This is where the true power lies, in choosing how you respond. Every situation, no matter how dire, offers you the opportunity to choose how you will react. It doesn't matter if things are going perfectly or if everything is falling apart. You have the power to decide how you're going to show up. Are you going to face the challenge with resilience, or will you succumb to fear and doubt? Are you going to meet adversity with a sense of purpose, or will you let frustration overwhelm you? The way you respond to life's challenges is what will ultimately define the person you become. We often hear that life is not about what happens to you, but how you respond to it. And this is not just a catchy saying, it's a universal truth. If you think about it, every challenge, every setback is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. But in order to seize that opportunity, you have to choose to respond in a way that empowers you. The people who experience the most growth and success are not the ones who avoid obstacles, but the ones who learn to respond to them in a positive, proactive way. What does this look like in practice? It looks like perseverance when things get hard. It looks like optimism when things seem bleak. It looks like patience when the road is long. It looks like taking ownership of your choices and actions instead of blaming external circumstances or other people. Your response is not just about how you react emotionally, it's about how you take control, how you move forward, and how you stay grounded in your purpose, even when everything else seems to be falling apart. The power of your response is also in your perspective. How you view a situation will directly affect how you respond to it. If you see a challenge as an obstacle, you'll likely respond with frustration or fear. But if you see it as an opportunity for growth, your response will be more positive and productive. You might still feel frustrated or scared, but you cared, but you will not allow those emotions to control you. Instead, you will see the bigger picture, and that understanding will guide your actions. Let's take a moment to reflect on some of the most successful people in history, people who have faced unimaginable adversity and yet have come out the other side not just surviving but thriving. What do they have in common? They all knew how to control their responses. They all understood that the way they responded to their struggles was what determined whether they succeeded or failed. They didn't deny the hardship they faced. They didn't ignore the pain or the frustration, but they didn't let it dictate their future either. They chose to respond with strength, with resilience, and with determination. Take, for example, some of the greatest athletes of all time. Their physical abilities are remarkable, but often sets them apart is their mental toughness, their ability to respond to adversity. When they lose, they don't give up. When they get injured, they don't quit. They don't let one defeat or setback define their career. Instead, they choose to see failure as an opportunity to improve, to learn, and to come back stronger. Their response to adversity is what drives them to the top of their fields. The same principle applies to entrepreneurs, musicians, artists, and anyone who has achieved greatness. In every field, there are countless stories of people who face failure after failure, rejection after rejection, and yet they refuse to let their circumstances determine their future. Their response to the setbacks and challenges they encountered was to keep going. They kept pursuing their goals, kept improving their craft, and kept moving forward, no matter how many times they were knocked down. What's important to understand is that responding positively doesn't mean ignoring the negative. It doesn't mean pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It means acknowledging the difficulty, acknowledging the challenge, but choosing to act in a way that moves you closer to your goal rather than further away. It's about having the strength to rise above your circumstances, to keep your focus on what you can control, and to take responsibility for your actions and your mindset. One of the most powerful responses you can have in the face of adversity is to maintain your belief in yourself. When the world tells you that you can't do something, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, when the doubts creep in, your response can be to reaffirm your commitment to your goals. Your response can be to remember why you started, to remind yourself that challenges are a part of the journey and to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem. But your response also extends to how you treat others. When you face difficulty, how you respond to the people around you speaks volumes about your character. Do you lash out at others, blaming them for your frustration? Or do you take a deep breath, stay calm, and approach the situation with patience and understanding? How you treat others in tough times is just as important as how you treat yourself. The way you respond to others, especially when you're under stress, will shape the relationships you have and determine the kind of environment you create around you. Ultimately, your response determines the outcome of every situation in your life. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, how many times you get knocked down. What matters is whether you get up, how you choose to move forward, and whether you maintain your focus on the bigger picture. Life will always present challenges. It will always throw curveballs. But how you respond to those challenges is what will determine your success, your peace of mind, and your fulfillment. So when life knocks you down, when things don't go according to plan, remember that your response is everything. It's your response that will determine whether you stay down or rise. It's your response that will determine whether you give up or keep going. And it's your response that will ultimately shape the kind of life you lead. Life may not always be fair, but your response to life's unfairness is what will make all the difference. There's a misconception in life that if we're strong enough, if we work hard enough, if we plan well enough, we can avoid pain. We can avoid brokenness. We believe that the people who succeed, the ones who truly make something of themselves, never face failure, never experience heartbreak, never find themselves in a place of emotional or physical destruction. But nothing could be further from the truth. Brokenness is part of the journey. It's not something that happens to you because you're weak or unlucky. It's something that happens because you are human, because you are living, because you are striving towards something bigger than yourself. We all encounter moments in life when we feel broken, whether it's the loss of a loved one, the failure of a dream, the collapse of a relationship, or the realization that we aren't where we thought we would be at this stage of our lives. These moments feel like they shatter us, like they tear us apart. We look at the pieces of our lives scattered on the floor and wonder how we'll ever put them back together. We question everything. our strength, our faith, our worth. But what we need to realize is that brokenness is not the end of the road. It is part of the process of becoming who we're meant to be. When we experience brokenness, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical, it's easy to fall into despair, to feel like we've lost something essential and we can never get it back. But that's the lie we tell ourselves. The truth is, brokenness is not something that defines us in a negative way. It's something that refines us. It is in the cracks, the wounds, the moments when we feel like we can't go on, that our true strength emerges. Think about it. If we lived in a world where everything went exactly as we wanted, where everything was perfect and easy, would we grow? Would we become the people we are capable of becoming? Probably not. We only grow when we're stretched beyond our limits, when we're pushed into discomfort, when we face things that challenge our current understanding of ourselves and the world. This doesn't mean that we seek out pain, that we look for ways to be hurt. It simply means that we stop running from it when it inevitably comes. We stop seeing brokenness as a sign that we are failures or that life has somehow turned against us. Instead, we start to see it as a part of the process, a necessary and essential part of the journey that will ultimately lead us to a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of ourselves. One of the reasons brokenness is so difficult to face is that we fear we will never recover from it. We fear that the pain will be too much, that we'll be left empty and hollow, incapable of ever being the same again. But the truth is, the way you respond to brokenness is what matters most. It's not about how much you've been hurt, it's about how you choose to heal. Yes, brokenness can be devastating and it can take time to recover, but it's also a chance to rebuild, to emerge stronger, and to redefine who you are. The brokenness itself isn't the end. It's the starting point of a new journey, a journey of healing, growth, and self-discovery. Consider the way certain materials become stronger through being broken. Think of glass that's shattered and then reformed into something new, or clay that's molded by the hands of a skilled artisan. These materials don't lose their value through the breaking process. In fact, they become more valuable because of it. They are reshaped, reformed, and transformed into something even greater than they were before. The same is true for us. The moments when we feel the most broken, when we feel like we've lost everything, are often the times when we have the greatest potential to rise up and redefine ourselves. But we have to be willing to do the work. We can't just sit back and hope that the pieces of our lives will magically come together. We have to actively engage in the process of healing. This means allowing ourselves to grieve, to process the pain, and to give ourselves permission to feel the emotions that come with brokenness. We can't ignore our feelings or pretend that everything is fine when it's not. Healing begins with acknowledging the pain and giving ourselves the space and the grace to experience it. Once we acknowledge the pain, we must then allow ourselves to rebuild. Rebuilding is not easy. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes a willingness to learn from the pain, to grow from the hurt, and to move forward with purpose. In the process of rebuilding, we begin to discover new strengths we didn't know we had. We learn more about who we are, what we truly value, and what we want out of life. We may find that the things we thought we needed to feel whole were not actually the things that brought us fulfillment. We may discover new passions, new paths, and new ways of being. Brokenness doesn't have to be something that keeps us stuck. It can be the thing that propels us into the next chapter of our lives, one that is richer, deeper, and more meaningful than we ever imagined. The reality is that everyone experiences brokenness at some point in their lives. It's not something we can avoid, no matter how hard we try. The key is to embrace it as part of the journey, not as something to be feared or avoided. Brokenness is a teacher, a guide, and a source of transformation. It helps us develop resilience, empathy, and strength. It gives us the opportunity to rise up, to pick up the pieces, and to become the person we were always meant to be. Even the people we admire, the ones who seem to have it all together, have faced moments of brokenness. Behind every success story is a chapter of pain, of loss, or failure. But those people didn't let their brokenness define them. They used it as fuel for their growth. They understood that it was not the brokenness itself that mattered, but how they responded to it. They chose to face their challenges head on, to heal, to rebuild, and to move forward. And that's exactly what we must do too. When we embrace brokenness, we begin to see it as an integral part of our story. It's not something to be hidden or ashamed of, but something to be integrated into who we are. Our scars are a testament to our strength, to our ability to persevere. We are not defined by the brokenness itself, but by how we rise from it. The scars we carry tell the story of our healing, of our transformation, and of our willingness to face life head on, no matter what it throws at us. It's important to recognize that brokenness doesn't mean you are incomplete or that you are somehow less than whole. It means you are in the process of becoming. It means you are in the middle of a transformation, one that will take you to places you never thought possible. It means that you are still moving forward, still learning, still growing, and still becoming the best version of yourself. We are all works in progress, and brokenness is a natural part of that process. When you feel broken, remember that it's not a reflection of your worth or your value. It's simply part of your journey. And the beauty of the journey is that it's always unfolding, always revealing new lessons, new possibilities, and new ways of being. The cracks in your life are not flaws, they are the spaces where light can enter. They are the openings that allow you to grow, to evolve, and to become stronger than you were before. So when brokenness comes, as it inevitably will, don't resist it. Don't run from it. Don't let it define you. Embrace it. Lean into the process of healing, knowing that it is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of something new, something better, something more authentic. Trust that this brokenness and all its pain is making you into the person you're meant to become. And when the time comes, you will be able to look back at the pieces of your past and see them not as fragments of destruction, but as the foundation for the strength and wisdom you now carry.